So, Troy, thank you for joining me and taking the time to speak about your experience on our high performance program in Adelaide. I think first and foremost, obviously, thanks to the support of the Barmy Army, you were able to go out there, and just wanted to get your overall thoughts and feelings on the support you received initially, even before going out to Adelaide.
So when I found out that they was raising money for this to happen, I said, this is an amazing opportunity. Like, this doesn't come just like that. So I said to myself, I definitely have to take this, and a lot of thanks to the Barmy Army for making this happen. Like, as I said, this doesn't happen just like that. This is an amazing thing to happen to any young cricketer or young person in general, to come all the way over here to get into such a high performance program. It's been amazing.
So you've been achieving really good things with Ace, and everything that Ace is doing is well documented and is amazing in itself. Did you sort of realise that it was going to be a big step up for your cricket, or were you a bit unsure about how it could maybe help you in that sense?
I mean, yeah, for sure. From the feedback that I've heard from a lot of the pros that weren't pros before, came out here, come back for their next season, turning into pros or getting closer to getting some sort of contract, and just from a few of my mates just saying the experience out here is amazing. Obviously, the standard of cricket is really good and challenging. But yeah, I was expecting it to develop my cricket a lot, and personally, I would say it has.
And obviously for yourself, you've been out there since the very start, so out since October. For any young person, moving to a different country for a period of time can be quite challenging. So away from the cricket for a minute, how has that been for you?
As you said, it was quite tough to begin with. I mean, meeting new people as well, let alone living with new people. So getting accustomed to how people live, trying to work around their ways and stuff like that, and just trying to create a bond. It was different, but once you get through that first sort of stage, it becomes really good. You create nice friendships, and then you start to live really well. So yeah.
Obviously, in terms of program, led by high performance director Shaun Seigert, were you sort of aware of his pedigree before going out to Adelaide, or has it just been since you've got there you've learnt about who he is and what he's done in the game?
Yeah, I had actually heard about him before. As I had said before, some of my friends have been out here, done similar courses, and heard of him and spoke to me about him and said that he's a top quality coach and stuff like that. So yeah.
So just now, in terms of the program and looking at how that's been and how that's developed your game, obviously you arrived in Adelaide a good player anyway, but can you sort of summarise in any way about how the high performance program has taken your game to a new level?
I mean, I would say it's not only developed me physically, cricket-wise, but also mentally. I'd say like that's a massive aspect in the game. If you don't have that mental, I feel like you can't play a higher level as much as possible. So I feel like that's made a big difference to my game. I'd say a lot of us guys on the high performance program have the ability physically, just a few fine-tuning stuff, but mentally it's been a massive change for us. So yeah.
Obviously Shaun's philosophies have remained the same for a number of years now. He's very sort of strict on them in terms of pushing comfort zones and finding a way to be successful within yourself. So you might have a scenario that is quite challenging, and how can you go away and solve that? How mentally challenging has the high performance program been? Because as you touched on, it's quite obvious how physically demanding it is, and I'm sure we'll get onto the Snakepit, but just mentally, how challenging and how difficult has it been at times?
I mean, there has been quite a few days where you're thinking to yourself, oh, come on now, don't give up on yourself, kind of thing. But you just have to push through. Like, within myself, I know I want to be the best player that I can possibly be. So I really want to push through, because I know once I put in the work, I'll get a really good outcome from it. So yeah.
Away from the high performance program for a second, in terms of your club cricket, that's a part of the program that people really like once they get out there. And obviously you've enjoyed a successful time with your club side. How has that element been, and how much have you enjoyed that side of it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been great getting around a different group of lads other than the academy guys, just playing in a team in general and trying to give your best performances to help the team win. It's been really good. Obviously, you're not going to have the best week every weekend, but once you're on top, you feel really good, and those guys will get around you. You're also learning from them, not only from the high performance program, those guys are teaching you stuff as well. So yeah, it's been really good.
Having spoken to Shaun about your time on the program, he was quite keen to stress that from very early on, you sort of asserted yourself as one of the leaders in the group, and you've led the team in certain matches. Is that a characteristic of yourself that you've always had, or is it something you've developed since being out in Australia?
I've had it quite from a young age, I would say. From junior cricket at my club back home, I've been captaining games. With the ACE program, I've been captaining them. And this year I'm actually going to captain my club team back home. So I've had, I'd say, quite a lot of experience doing captaincy. Obviously still a lot more to learn, but I like to say I'd count myself as a leader in the group. So yeah.
In terms of the program itself, one of the elements that people are always keen to talk about, keen to express is the Snakepit Fitness Challenge. So for anyone that isn't aware and anyone that doesn't know, could you just briefly describe what that is and what it entails?
Snakepit, I'd say, is something you find in one of your nightmares for sure. So it's a sand track, 400 meters, including 4 hills going up and down with quite deep sand. So you have to complete it in a certain amount of time. For the academy, we have to do every lap within 6 minutes. So let's say if I do it within 3 minutes, I get 3 minutes rest, and then you go again. So the first snake pit we did was 6 laps, and the next one we did was 8 laps. And then in this final week, we've got one coming up with 10 laps. So we'll see how it goes for that. But yeah.
So Shaun and the team, they don't get lenient as the time goes on.
No. We thought we got off lucky. It wasn't on the program, but then he killed us off and said, "Yeah, we've got it next week."
And sort of in terms of how the program's gone, obviously we're towards the end now, and for you, one of the players that's been out there since the start, it has been a long period of time. Sort of now looking ahead to the end, which is approaching, just how do you summarize and look back on your time on the program?
I'd say it's been so beneficial. I mean, not only with the cricket side, I'd say definitely as soon as I get back home, I'd think that the people that I train with back home will see, oh yeah, that going out to Australia has been a massive difference, not only for me as a player, but also as a person, just growing more mentally, I'd say, maturing quite a lot. Obviously, you're living out here by yourself independently. You haven't got your parents, family, stuff like that, friends from back home. So that makes a big difference. But yeah, I mean, it's just been amazing being out here.
For a lot of people that are thinking about participating in the program, there's potentially a bit of apprehensiveness in terms of, obviously it's a big commitment, and like you said, for a lot of people it's a massive step out of their comfort zone. So if someone is thinking about taking part in the program that maybe needs that bit of a push, what would your message to them be?
I'd say it's definitely worth it, especially as a player. You just learn so much over here. Like, I'd say if you're just playing, let's say, club cricket back home, you're learning a lot more out here compared to there. I mean, like, with us training to be like pros, with the program that we have, it's just amazing. And not alone that side, as I said before, living independently, you'll learn a lot about yourself and you start to grow as a person. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Just ending this on how we started, obviously at the Root Academy, we're massively grateful for the support that Barmy Army showed us with this, in terms of allowing us to work once again with the ACE program and support the amazing work that the ACE are doing. Just from your perspective, obviously you touched on how grateful you are to the Barmy Army for their support in helping you get out to Adelaide. For the people and the members that made that happen, what sort of your final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you once again. Like, this has been such an amazing opportunity. I can't stress how much this means to me. Like, it's developed me so much as a person, and hopefully I can get a professional contract within the next few years. And this will be one of the benefits of it. I mean, taking all the skills that I've learned out here and growing as a person to make me into a better person and hopefully strive in life.